You cannot win a war with a battle. You win it with a strategy. I have been creating a marketing agency for the last 10 years, and I have done a lot of marketing over my career. I have succeeded a lot, and I have failed also. Fortunately, I have succeeded more than I have failed, and that's why I'm here today to tell you about my successes, but also to tell you about the things to avoid when it comes to the game of marketing and the game of business. Number one thing to avoid: do not get into the game of marketing without a game plan, aka a strategy. In my book, Marketing Magic, I went over the 5 things, top lessons that I learned from my father. And one of those lessons, it's in one of the chapters at the beginning of the book, says, a war is won with a strategy. And I go deep into that subject because I learned really the hard way that when I try to succeed to generate sales, leads, revenue, get a business off the ground, if I didn't really know what a target was, if I didn't know what my assets were, if I didn't really understand who my audience was, I generally failed. So before you start spending your hard-earned dollars, before you start advertising, before you start using your oxygen, aka cash, make sure that you understand what you're trying to accomplish. What are your goals? What is your vision for the brand? What are your services? How can you make the world a better place through your brand, through your business? Because here's the fact: any good business out there, no matter what, whether they have great marketing or not, in the end, if they don't make the consumer better, they're going to fall apart. It's only temporary. You want to build something greater than yourself. You want to build something that becomes a legacy, that withstand the economy, ups and downs, the era of AI, you name it. You want to build something that makes the world a better place, that helps people, that solves problems at scale. So I want to teach you right now about marketing strategy. Again, I have an agency, Inc. 5000 agency. I have hundreds of clients. I've helped thousands of people. I have 120 employees as of today, towards the end of 2025. So I have a little bit of the data about how to actually execute strategy. In 2025, I wrote a whole policy, a whole document on the subject, and I want to pass this along to you, and then I want to give you a gift. It doesn't require you to buy anything or do anything else. It's literally just a gift, which is a template for you to build your own strategy. So let me tell you the elements of a marketing strategy based on my recent policy, which is an internal policy for my agency. A marketing strategy, by the way, is specifically, what does it mean? What is a marketing strategy? A marketing strategy is a plan that outlines how a business intends to reach its marketing goals, including identifying the target audience, choosing marketing channels, and setting specific actions to promote products or services effectively. A marketing strategy is written and structured using Attention-Grabbing Media's marketing strategy template, which I will give you access to at the end of this video, and you'll be able to put your own strategy together. These are the elements of a marketing strategy right here: brand overview, available platforms, brand assets, products and services, customer and competitive analysis. You got to understand what your competitors are doing. Marketing restrictions. What can you say or not say? For example, in the pet supplement industry that I'm working on right now, I cannot make claims. Same thing with the health industry. You cannot make claims, otherwise you'll get in trouble. You have to have restrictions somehow, sometimes, for some of these businesses that you're trying to run. Marketing goals, paid ad, budget strategy, organic strategy. These are all the elements of a good marketing strategy. Brand purpose. That's the first thing that you have to figure out. Fundamental reason why the brand exists. It goes beyond just selling products or services and focuses on the higher level impact the brand wants to make. So you got to know exactly what you're trying to accomplish and the effect that you're trying to create on people. And this will help you figure that out. And if you don't really understand some of these aspects, you know who can help you with this? ChatGPT, Llama, Grok, you name it. All these tools are great brainstorming partners to figure out exactly what your purpose is, what your goals are, and all these elements of a marketing strategy. So feel free to use these at any time while you're building your own strategy. Brand goals, for example, are the objectives they wish to achieve related to their purpose. It's how they plan to fulfill their purpose. Example brand goals: raise awareness about a cause and increase donations, for example, for a nonprofit organization. Generate leads for the dental office and grow the sales pipeline by creating educational content about dental health. That is the goal of the brand. That needs to be clarified. Something that is important in the game of business is to have a brand story. You got to have your brand story. What's an example of that? Well, we have a client of ours, AMI, Advanced Medical Integration. Well, it was founded by Michael and Colleen Carberry, joined over 20 years of experience in their own practices, and so on. A brand story. Then there's something that we call a valuable final product. And these are extremely important because this is what you're trying to create in your client that opens up their wallet to you and decides to trust you and believe in you. In order for you to actually keep on having clients, you have to make sure that your valuable final product is actually really, really valuable, because otherwise somebody else will take that customer from you by giving them more value. So for example, a VFE, valuable final product, isn't the physical offering itself, but the outcome a customer experiences after using a brand's product or service. You need to understand more than everybody else, because if you don't understand what your product or service creates as an outcome, you're not going to be able to market it correctly. Very, very important. A few examples over here on a fitness application. The valuable final product isn't just downloading the app, it's achieving a fitness goal. For example, weight loss, increased strength, you name it, right? On an educational platform, it isn't enrolling in a course, it's acquiring new knowledge or skills, right? If you have a consulting service, the VFP isn't hiring the consultant, it's solving a specific business problem or improving a process. And you name it, you have to have these things really clear when it comes to your business. CRMs that are available, your customer relation management software. I can tell you there's many of them. There's Go High Level right now being a very, very fast growing software to help you manage your customers. But then there's many of them over the years that have actually been very established in the industry. It doesn't matter, we're not talking about CRMs right now, but it's a place for you to actually use a database to be able to manage your customers. Shopify has their own way to handling that. You have platforms like Constant Contact that can allow you to communicate with your clients and so on. So whatever you create as a CRM is how you actually generate leads and manage them and create a pipeline for these people. So you have to have that established. Salesforce, HubSpot, Zoho, you name it, right? Go High Level, etc. And then you move into social media platforms. Which platforms do you want to focus on for your brand? Because some people are going to have their customer base is going to be on Facebook. Now, let's be clear. Everybody's customer base is on Facebook. Everybody. They just reported recently that they have over 3 billion people on the platform every single day. Do you know how many people on the internet are active every day? 4 billion, which means that Facebook, in the world of Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, has 75% of the entire online population using their platforms every day. So make no mistake, your audience is there. Whether you want to accept it or believe it or not, they are there. But then there's platforms like Twitter, now known as X, that might have a more professional audience. And then there's Instagram, which has a little bit of a younger demographic. And there's TikTok, you name it. So you got to know exactly where your content is going and where your strategy is going to be focused in. Marketing platforms that we're using, right? How are we going to advertise? That has to be in place. Facebook ads, Google ads, meta ads is what Facebook calls them now, right? Includes Instagram and so on. Are you going to do email marketing and so on? Brand assets section. You want to now spend some time, whether you are a startup business or you are an established business, you want to make sure that you and everybody else on your team understands the world of your assets. Meaning, what do you currently have? How many followers do you have in social media? How many emails do you have in your database? How many phone numbers? How many physical addresses do you have? That way, when you hire people and you add more people to your team and you expand, you can always say, listen, your first step here is to study the marketing strategy. So you understand what we have, what our potential is, what our business is. There is not going to be any better tool for you to introduce your people into what you're trying to do, to get them on the same page and show them the page, than having a very detailed marketing strategy created for your business, for your brand. What forms do you have? What is your social media following? What does it look like? How many people follow you already on Facebook? How many people follow you on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok? How many people are active in your world already? How many views do you get every single day of your content and so on? All these things need to be in place. AMI, for example, you look at websites that you have, like landing pages and funnels and all these things that you already have created. You should make sure that you have these things detailed over here. What creatives you have, that's part of the strategy. Social media images, website images, videos, testimonials, YouTube videos, TikTok videos. All these things are extremely important. What people say about your brand is also important, because reviews are going to help you really get more impact across your online world, whether it is lead generation or services or e-commerce. Reviews and other people's opinions are very important. And then you go deep into like other things like primary problem solved by product services, examples of problem solved. For example, we're talking about a weight loss company like our family company, NaturalSlim, which is focused on NaturalSlim. We focus on Latin America, in the United States, and also in 9 other countries. But we focus on weight loss education and systems. Well, what are the problems solved? Well, we help people with difficulty losing weight. Or let's say that we're helping people with productivity. Well, we help them feel with their overwhelmed feelings and their feelings of not being organized. Or let's say, for example, that I have a chiropractic management service, not having necessary processes in place to grow their chiropractic business. I have to have that with a lot of clarity. One of my most important areas of the whole marketing strategy is the whole competitive analysis. And I talked about that on previous episodes. We might be able to link this one here, but we have talked about reverse engineering your competitors so you can actually understand what others are doing. It's very important that you go out there and understand what other similar brands are doing in the game of marketing so you can use that as inspiration to create your own marketing. The more you understand what others are doing, the better you will be able to succeed in your marketing game. Marketing restrictions is another element of and it's going to be a part of the template that I'm giving you access to. You have to know that, because if you don't know restrictions that you have, and ChatGPT, AI tools can help you figure that out, you might get in trouble with these organizations that we don't really like to create trouble with. FTC is the Federal Trade Communications Organization. If you say things that you shouldn't be saying, you can get shut down. And trust me, the stories are quite horrible out there. When you're in the industry of health, there's a lot of restrictions of things that you can say or cannot say. So this is an important element for a marketing strategy. Targets and goals. What is, for example, what you consider your KPI, your key performance indicator? It could be something like, what is your ideal cost per lead? I had a client walked into AGM the other day and said to me, hey, listen, I need to get 40 leads a day. And I said, okay, perfect. You got clarity on what you're trying to accomplish, because he knows that if he can get 40 leads a day, he can close a certain percentage of those, and he has a 9-figure business. In this example, this was a roofing company that repairs roofs for houses, homeowners, and tenants. And he knew exactly what he needed. That is his KPI. So we're gonna be measured based on our ability to produce that exact result. Get 40 leads a day. Or you wanna get certain people to watch your content a month. You wanna get certain views and so on. This thing needs to be figured out on the marketing strategy. Marketing budget is important. Let's say, for example, you have a marketing budget and you wanna assign a percentage of your profit every month to marketing. Well, maybe you have a starting budget of $3,000. And maybe if you get the KPIs, the key performance indicators, you can bring that up to $5,000 a month afterwards. And it explains monthly development. You can actually go into the detail at the beginning of each month, what's gonna happen, what are we gonna do to create content, what is the consistency of the branding, and so on, okay? So this is something that you need to build and develop for your own brand. And it's gonna help you understand all the different areas of opportunities that you might have. If you're a great content creator, if you like to communicate, for example, and you like to be on camera because you feel you have value to give, well, you need to have an organic content strategy. That is what built our family business, NaturalSlim, is our organic content strategy. And a lot of businesses are built with the concept of giving away value, and eventually they get business from that value. If you now go to the link at the bottom of this video in the description, you will see something that looks like this. When you click on it, this is free for you. You don't have to pay anything for it. I'm giving you my value. I created an internal tool for my AGM marketing, my marketing staff members, so they can create strategies for their clients. And one of the requirements before we start anything is to put together a detailed marketing strategy. We usually sit down with our client and we ask questions and we download all the possible information. And based on that, we take this document and we start building the marketing strategy. We start filling up the blanks: brand purpose, brand goals, brand story, valuable final products, available platforms, social media channels, marketing platforms that we're doing, what are the available list, text message lists, email lists, and so on. What landing pages and websites we already have that already have been built out. Do we have any resources, lead magnets, courses created? Do we have anything that we can use to help us get attention? What is the description of our products and our services? What primary problems do we solve with the business? What is the analysis of our competitors? And so on. So you go through this thing and you fill it up. And it might take you a few hours. And if you're smart and you start using AI, you can cut that time probably 80%. And you can now, within a few hours, an hour, or even less, have a document that allows you to get everybody on the same page. And it's something that becomes, it's a live document. It's not something that you set and forget. It's something that you continue to create. Because here's what you do. When you have booming stats on your e-commerce or on your leads, you go to your document and you look for what worked and you strengthen that so you can get more of those results. But when things are not working, which trust me, it happens a lot, all the time, sometimes things go down, you would expect in Alice in Wonderland that things are always moving up, right? That's not the reality of business. Building a business is like a roller coaster. There's ups and downs. Fortunately, if you're good at it, you're gonna have a lot more ups than downs, and that's how a real business is built. So when things are going down and they're not going that well, you can go into this marketing strategy that you wrote and you can start looking at what can you change, what can you fix, how can you adjust yourself, what current opportunities you might have right now that you hadn't leveraged just yet. And now you have a document that is living and is breathing, and you can work with and adjust yourself with and get everybody on board on your team. Even if it's just yourself, get yourself on board with a target. You will not be able to hit a target that you can't see. All right?